Wahotel. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How's it going?
It's going well, Kenya's beautiful.
Yeah?
Yes.
What do you like about Kenya?
To be honest, for me, it's the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you can change a lot of things in a country, but you can never change the type of people that will welcome you. Ever since I've gotten here from Wednesday, I've been having a good time, man.
Amazing. The one thing about Kenyans that stands out is the warmth.
Yes.
So I'm sure you felt that warmth.
Yes. There's actually a word, I just don't know how to pronounce it. It starts with a K.
Karibu.
Apparently, yes, welcome.
Karibu, Kenya.
Yes, when I mentioned that I'm coming, everybody kept commenting that word until I got here, and then I found out that, okay, it means welcome.
Amazing. Is this your first time in Kenya?
First time in Kenya, been really wanting to come for a long time, especially because I've followed the music industry in Kenya, and I've always noticed that it's got a very beautiful industry in terms of that. But now I've had the pleasure to actually come and see how it is this side.
Amazing. So you're actually doing a media tour as well as a club tour. So you did perform last night at a club. How's that experience for you? How exactly is the scene here, the music scene, different from what you usually, used to in South Africa?
To be honest, I think the one thing that I've been able to notice is just how much people love music, right? And also how much our cultures are very similar, right? Although we're so far from each other, we listen to more or less the same type of music, the young people sort of understand the culture in South Africa. But then when I got here and I was speaking to some of the people that came out to see me and came to the event, I started noticing just how similar we are. And I really loved that about, being here and vibing with the people.
Amazing. So what is the kind of music? What's your genre of music when you're out at a gig and you're DJing? What do you usually play with?
So because I'm from South Africa, as you might know, South Africa is a big house scene.
Yeah.
And I learned that you guys
Afro
are also,
house.
Exactly. You guys also have a big house scene this side, so it's mainly house music, Afro house, piano. There's also a genre called deep house in South Africa, which is sort of an extension of just house music in general. So when I play house music, Afro house, and so on.
Brilliant. Now, Wahotel, when someone looks at your Instagram, we see a lot of videos that are, I think, more on the comic side, right? So you are a comedian as well as a DJ. So when it comes to comedy, what is the kind of comedy that you do? What is stuff that your audience relates to and knows you for?
I think the biggest thing is relevance. The biggest thing is making it as personal as possible. So the jokes that I make is things that I find funny in our ordinary life,
Right.
Like going to work or having to work late and then tomorrow still having to wake up and now you have to pitch up, So
story of my life. And so are you actually. You had a gig till what time?
Yes, until 2.
You should make a funny video about that.
I should definitely. So it's basically that. It's really, and it's a whole space of, because I don't just speak about making jokes and having fun, but it's also about connecting with people, telling my story, One thing I've always also noticed is that we are going through things in life, Life is not always as perfect and beautiful, So you tell that story, the struggles of life. But at the same time, when it's the weekend, you tell the people, guys, it's time to enjoy. It's time to go see a friend. It's time to hang out. So that's the majority of the videos that I do.
Amazing, brilliant. And Wahotel, the one thing that I think stands out for you is the fact that you're very relevant. You did mention that relevance is very important to you, and it's kind of crucial in the content that you do. So when you're out there and people meet you at the club, do they tell you things like, why don't you crack a joke for me right now? So like, how do they differentiate your two sides? Your DJ side as well as now your comedian side? Is there a bit of a balance? Does it do they merge at times and intertwine, or do you think they're both very different in how they are?
Such a good question. I think it depends on the person that approaches, right?
Okay.
So a lot of my content, because I'm a vibe person, so a lot of my content really revolves about having a good time, So majority of the time when I see people, we are at a good space, a restaurant, that type of vibe. So they would usually say those vibing words like, word of the day, and that time I'm so tired. I don't still want to be doing that,
It's like 3 a.m. in the morning.
But the balance of it is that there've been people also that would come up to me and say to me, "You've been more to me as a father than my own father."
Wow.
You know? And it goes back to the relevancy about also speaking about my own, you know, struggles of life, you know? So I've had people, even at Groove, at restaurants, that would come up to me and say, "Listen, keep doing what you're doing. You know, you're saving so much lives, and you're speaking our truth, you know, because sometimes we think that we're going through this life experience alone, until we see someone that does content like you know?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get those people that would just get there and just want to vibe, you know?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
Love that. So yesterday you had a gig. Maybe tell us more about that. How was your experience? Is there something that stood out for you? You have mentioned the warmth of Kenyan people, but like it is quite exciting for you because you're going to be doing more. Maybe you can tell us where else you'll be performing and what you're looking forward to the most, just having this club tour in Kenya.
Yes. So yesterday I was at Soho.
Yeah.
Beautiful people, beautiful music, Afro House. Today, which is a Friday, I'm going to be at Ibiza.
Amazing.
Tomorrow, Saturday, I'm going to be at Gemini. And then Sunday, I'm going to be at Oyster Bay.
Wow, so it's basically the entire Nairobi Vibes clubs.
Bro,
Those are the ones that you've chosen.
It's a bit crazy because it's like your first time in Kenya. And by the way, like there's been a lot of people, before I was able to even know I'm coming, people were telling me to come.
Wow.
And I was chilling in my room and I was like, yo, I don't have the money to even imagine me coming, you know?
Social media.
Through social media, yes. Luckily, I've been able to come and to be able to see so many places and DJ at so many places, but be able to interact with so many people. I think it's a one-time like experience, you know?
100%.
Yes,
and
yes,
it's definitely
yes.
going to stand out for you because I think in future, when you come back next now, the people who probably don't know you that well, but have listened to you in these clubs, they will be looking forward to meeting you again.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And I think that's the beauty of being able to introduce yourself to new markets, you know, be able to go to new places and meet new people and interact with them, you know, give them time. You know, sometimes at Groove, it's very loud.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's shouting, you know, you don't really have time to really speak to people. But if you give someone some time and space to really just connect with you, it goes a long way. They'll want you to come back more, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, so I was actually in Johannesburg, I think in June, and I actually ended up going to a house event. And as you said, the house scene is so big there. The DJs there are incredible. Like I got to witness some of the DJs at some of the clubs and the talent there, you know, hats off. So yesterday when you played with the Kenyan DJs, how do you think that they're doing in comparison to what you see in
South Africa or
in
Johannesburg.
South Africa? What's the talent pool like over there? And do you think that Kenya has a long way to go to reach that level, or you saw some great talent?
No, I don't think you guys have a long way to go. I think you guys are there.
Really?
You know? Yeah, you guys are there.
Amazing.
Like I said, for example, yesterday, right? There was a lot of music that was being played that I connected with. Some music that I haven't even heard.
Okay.
And it was Afro House as well, you know, and that I loved also. So it speaks to the type of talent in terms of DJs that you guys have. And also the DJs also so incredible, you know. I think it speaks a lot to the type of people that Kenyans are. Very welcoming, very vibes type of people. So the talent, it's there.
Yeah.
And I think the one thing that we just need to do is share more of that talent and that culture. Yeah, that's the only thing. But otherwise, the talent is number one here.
Amazing, brilliant. When it comes to the house scene, right? We weren't that big on house a few years ago, but maybe in the last 2 years, there has been a rise of the consumption of house music here in Kenya. People are more open to it. There's more parties. There's a lot of events that are ongoing when it comes to house music. And now this is when people are truly just taking it in and they're loving it, right? So when did that happen for South Africa? When was the breakthrough of house music for South Africa? Because I do know that house music is quite big there. But how long did it take to actually get to that level?
So it really took, I wouldn't say that long, but right after, you know, our history with apartheid, when we got our freedom, there was a change in terms of music and culture,
Okay.
right? As you can imagine, we became free. People are now starting to explore new things and stuff, right? There was such genres as Kwaito and so onwards. So around that time, 1995, 1996, that's when house music really started creeping in. And I think it was also based on like radio stations. A lot of DJs were then DJing. And then from then, essentially, till now, it's been the number one consumed music in South Africa.
Wow.
Right? It has obviously evolved to different types of music. For example, even Afro House. I think Afro House...
It's quite new.
It's quite new. It doesn't have 10 years even in South Africa, you know. There was house, but it was a little bit different to Afro House, you know. Amapiano also is also relatively sort of new, you know. It popped around the same time with the rest of the world, around 2020. So in terms of house, it's always been there. It's always been within our culture. That's why you have a lot of DJs, a lot of producers coming out of South Africa. But yeah.
Yeah. So when you are playing at clubs, would you ever maybe mix commercial music, pop music? Because we do know right now South Africa is very big on that as well when it comes to artists, you know, groundbreaking artists like Tyler, for instance. We also have Amapiano artists that are really just absolutely creating viral songs, Focalistic, for instance. So when you're at a club and, for instance, you see that the vibe, maybe people want to listen to more broad music in comparison to just sticking to the niche that you do, which is house music. Do you cater to that audience as well sometimes? Or you're strictly just house oriented?
I would say I'm strictly just house. But at the same time, I think, I mean, when they book you, they already know their crowd and they already know the type of DJ they're looking for, right? That would play to their crowd as well, right? But you do have a point in the context that it is obviously, as a DJ, you are servicing the people in a way, right?
Yeah.
So you need to watch the crowd. You need to see as to, are people engaged? Are they feeling it? Are they enjoying it, you know? And then you play towards that. But at the same time, you try to stay authentically as possible as you can be. So you have to have a little bit of a balance, which I think maybe comes with a bit of experience. But you just take it from there and you just go with vibes, you know?
All right. And lastly, as we wind up, I have a question for you, and I'm sure DJs get this one a lot. Requests. How do you deal with requests? Do you take them well when someone comes and tells you, I'd like to request this song? What's your first reaction to that?
For me, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. The only issue is that sometimes you'd find that you don't have the song, you know, or you don't have the song today, right? Like anything, we also need to prepare. We need to get ready, that type of thing. So you might have a couple of songs that you know you're going to play, or those are the ones that you might want to actually play on the day. And then you might not have that song, or you have the song, but your library music on your USB is so much that it's going to take you a while to find it, you know? So for me, I welcome it. Sometimes I ignore them. I'll be like, I'll play it, and then I never play it. But it's just because I might not be able to find it at the time.
All right. And as we wrap up, Wahotel, maybe your last words to Kenyans who are watching you, who really love your music. And yeah, what advice would you like to give an upcoming DJ who really just wants to break through into the industry?
Yeah. I think the one thing I'd say about Kenyan people is thank you guys for bringing me and for welcoming me and being so awesome. You know, Kenya is one of the countries in Africa that were the first to sort of reach out to me, you know? All the way from Cape Town, by the way. It's like so far, you know?
Amazing.
So they were one of those people that were one of the first in Africa to reach out and to say, yo, we want to see you, you know? So I'd just love to thank them for being able to understand what I do and love what I do. And then for anyone that wants to do anything, I think the one thing that's important in life is that your dreams are valid.
Amazing.
You know, your dreams are valid. Stay focused. Don't necessarily listen to people, right? Or listen to people, but at the same time, understand where you want to take it and then go with that energy.
All right. Amazing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very
we
much.
We appreciate your time. Best of luck for the rest of your
Thank you.
Kenyan stay. And of course, make sure that you make the absolute most of it because we love music for
Yes.
sure, especially good music. So we're going to give you the energy. So enjoy the rest of your trip and good luck on the rest of your club tour. And lastly, make sure you try some ugali. Have you tried ugali yet?
No, what is that?
Ugali is like pap.
Oh, okay.
It's the
I
Kenyan
love pap. I
version
love
of
pap. Yeah.
Yeah. So in South Africa, in case you didn't know, ugali is actually called pap.
Yes.
So I went there and I tried it, and I was
Yes.
shocked because I was like, "This is literally ugali, but there's a South African name for it."
Yes,
So
yes,
we share
yes.
that in common. So make sure you tell your team to take you to a restaurant where you can try some ugali and skuma and nyama.
I'll
Right?
do that, yes.
Nyama is meat.
Okay.
Skuma is the vegetable. And
Yes.
ugali.
Okay.
That's what you need to do before you leave. All
I'll
right?
do that, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much
much.
for
Thank
coming
you
on
very
the
much.
show. We appreciate your time. That's Wahotel from South Africa, a DJ and a comedian who is doing a club tour here in Kenya. So make sure you check him out on social media just to know where he's performing, to keep up with his updates. And yeah, do watch him live.